the Raising 12, as they do before every game. They raise that 12th man flag. A great honor, Tom, for a former Raider and a guy you brought to Seattle, Derek Jensen.
He was an outstanding player for us. We drafted him when I was assistant coach, and I became the head coach the next year. And he was a tremendous force for us, being our special teams captain, making that big play in Super Bowl 18. I hired him here in 1991, and he's been here ever since. A great tribute to a wonderful person.
He was battling ALS. We had a nice dinner for him last night, so our thoughts and prayers go out to the former Raider. Here's our keys to the game, brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Terrell Pryor will wear a wristband tonight to command the offense. This is Justin Medlock kicking off for the Raiders, and it will be a touchback. Jermaine Kearse, the wide receiver, will take it in the back of the end zone for a touchback. Sebastian Janikowski, with a right calf strain, will not be kicking tonight. Russell Wilson Plunk. It was a year ago at this time that he took the starting job here away from Matt Flynn, who's now a Raider, and he made history last year. 26 touchdown passes, tying Peyton Manning's record for the most ever as a league rookie.
Yeah, a total of 29 counting the postseason. A tremendous year for that young man out of Wisconsin. 5'11", 202 pounds, yet can throw and run with the best of them, and he's that new breed of quarterback that's coming into the NFL right now.
We're not going to see Marshawn Lynch as a running back tonight, so Robert Turbin will open as the lead back. 1st and 10, Seattle on the 20. The Raiders get great push from Pat Sims. He comes busting through, and there's a stuff in the backfield as Kevin Burnett will blow it up for a big loss, Tom, but it was Pat Sims.
Absolutely.
That came busting through that front and stuffed up the play.
And there's always an answer to a pass rush, is with one of the tackles can break through clean, because anytime you get a clean release in the middle of the field, that upsets the entire passing scheme.
Pat Sims not able to play with a stubborn injury, a hamstring injury, but he's good to go tonight. His first snap as a Raider. He results in a 2-yard stuff now. Here's Turbin on the stretch. No, it's a play action. Wilson will throw, and he's going to throw deep downfield. A jump ball. Usama Young jumping for it, and Seattle makes the catch at the 31-yard line. That is Stephen Williams with a 50-yard catch. He may have gotten hurt on the landing. This young receiver out of Toledo, Plunk, has been the best receiver in the preseason in the NFL.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why Wilson has done such a great job, Russell Wilson, because of plays like that. He's got guys who go after the football. He was well covered by Usama Young, but he came up with the ball. What a fantastic throw and catch.
Stephen Williams coming into the game, 186 yards receiving, the best in the NFL this preseason. The Raider front is strong there on Turbin as they shut that down. It will be Robert Turbin will be the featured back tonight. Michael Robinson will also not be playing, so Derek Coleman will be the fullback. Sidney Rice will not play. The receivers are Baldwin and Tate, and the former Raider Zach Miller will play. Russell Okung, one of the best left tackles in football. McQuiston, Unger, Sweezy will start at right guard, and Breno Giacomini, a real nasty right tackle. Raider defensive line led by Pat Sims off to a good start. Wilson on 2nd and 12 is flushed out. He can run. 30, 25, will slide out of bounds. Tyvon Branch will have scored him there. I think he's just short of the first down. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. Well, Raider defensive front, Tom. It is Sims back to make his first start next to Walker. The ends are Lamar Houston and Jason Hunter. Nick Roach, the middle backer. C.O. Moore not here tonight with a toe injury, so Kaluka Mayava will make his Raider debut. Burnett, the other backer. Tracy Porter, Mike Jenkins, your starting quarters. DJ Hayden will play later. And then Woodson and Ty Branch are your safeties. 3rd down and 1, Seattle on the Raider 23-yard line. It's a bootleg. Russell Wilson rolls right, wide open there. That's the tight end for a first down. That is Luke Wilson, the rookie, round 5 out of Rice. It'll give Seattle a 1st and goal to go inside the 10-yard line.
Well, that's the magic of Wilson, when he can play action. The running game is a good running game when Marshall is in there, but Wilson is just a master at disguising it with his play action pass, and then he moves the pocket. And the one thing they do is they move the pocket a lot.
Now, he's a former minor league baseball player, a second baseman. He really is a tremendous all-around athlete, despite the fact he's under 6 feet tall at 5'11". Here's an eye, and they give it to Turbin behind the fullback Coleman. It's a Seattle touchdown. Walks right through Nick Roach on the goal line. So the big one to Stephen Williams certainly got him going, Plunk, a 50-yarder, and that's probably all we'll see from Russell Wilson tonight. That was a very impressive opening drive for the Seahawks.
Yeah, it certainly was. And even though the receiver was well covered by Young. You know, he still came up with the ball, but that's the kind of offense you get from Russell Wilson. He gets outside of the pocket. He's very dangerous. He ran for about 12 yards on one play. He moves the pocket around, and they don't use him like with the read option. Sometimes he just takes off and runs, yet he ran for almost 500 yards a year ago. He's just an all-around athlete and gets the job done.
In fact, he set a Seahawk rushing record for yards by a quarterback. He ran for 489 yards, the most ever in their franchise history by a QB. Stephen Hauschka makes the extra point, and the Seahawks go right down the field, 6 plays, 80 yards, and they take a 7-0 lead on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network. And a secondary coach giving it to the Raiders back line of defense. That's where the breakdowns were more anywhere else against the Bears last week, Tom. It wasn't so much the front four and the linebacking core. The big runs came because the secondary didn't step up, and the coach just aired out his secondary after an 80-yard drive.
Well, and then that run by Wilson, Osama Young came in, and he was clean. He came in and went for the old-fashioned fake pass, jumped up in the air, left his feet, and let a guy like Wilson get outside of him. He picked up 11 yards. The key play.
Stephen Hauschka will kick off for Seattle. Not a real strong kickoff leg. Jacoby Ford, though, is not going to have a return on this dark night. That'll be in the apron of the back of the end zone, a touchback. So Terrell Pryor will quarterback the Raiders' first-team offense when we come back to Seattle, down 7-0 on the Oakland Raiders Broadcasting Network. Playoffs and the regular season, of course, CenturyLink Field sold out for the 86th consecutive Seahawk game, one of the loudest open-air stadiums in football. A real challenge for Terrell Pryor. And Menelik Watson will make the start at left tackle tonight. Pryor, great numbers throughout the preseason, electrifying last Friday against the Bears. Let's see what he does tonight as a starter against the #1 defense of the Seahawks. He came in late in the first half against the Bears and played against their #1s, but largely the numbers put up against the opponent's second-team defense. Streeter goes in short motion, high snap, inside handoff to Rashad Jennings, who lost his helmet there on the run. Or actually, it was Andre Gerard who did it, and Jennings picks up 2 or 3. Jennings will start. Darren McFadden will not play. Marcel Reese, the fullback, Denarius Moore, Rod Streeter, and Jaron Mastrud will be the tight end. The Raider offensive line highlighted by Menelik Watson at left tackle, Tony Bergstrom left guard. Stefan Wisniewski and Khalif Barnes will not play tonight, so Andre Gerard will start at center, and Alex Barron, who has been starting at left tackle the last 2 games, will flop over to right tackle as we get a look at Menelik Watson. Had a calf injury throughout camp. Now playing his first game ever at left tackle, including college. 2nd down and 6. Pryor, a play action, a rollout, being chased by Red Bryant. The ball was tipped and still caught by the tight end Mastrud. What a catch there by Jaron Mastrud as Red Bryant tipped that ball on the bootleg punt, and the tight end still caught the tip ball.
Yeah, great effort by Mastrud out there on the sideline. Only picked up a couple of yards, but still was a fantastic catch. He was well covered by Red Bryant, as you mentioned, but what a catch with his left hand, brought it in. And a good play by Terrell Pryor. He's being harassed by the defensive end.
3rd down and 3 for the Raiders on their own 27-yard line. A lot of pre-snap shifting here, very loud. Pryor audibilizing, comes under center, now backs away in the gun. Bunch formation right, Denarius Moore left. Here's a blitz. Pryor holds it, throws middle, broken up. He hit Mastrud, and it was knocked away and tipped out of there. Seahawks, O'Brien Schofield, the lineman there, dropped in a zone blitz and knocked that ball away, and the Raiders will punt the ball. But Pryor delivered that on time. That was a catchable ball, but Schofield knocked the 1st down away.
Yeah, he was probably about his 3rd outlet on that play. Pryor looked right, looked down the field, and then came back. It would have been a 1st down had he made the catch.
And I like the way he stood in there. He didn't panic. He was looking around, trying to find an open receiver, and got it there. It was just a fine defensive play.
Here's the punt coming up by Chris Kluwe. Quite a battle tonight between Kluwe and Marquette King to be the Raider punter. This is Walter Thurman, their nickelback, back to return, 30-yard line. Runs through a hit of Tywan Jones, 35-40. Kluwe can't get him midfield. Finally dropped on the Raider 43-yard line. A 44-yard punt by Kluwe, but a 27-yard return by Walter Thurman. 7-0 Seahawks from Seattle on the Raiders Broadcasting Network.
One successful series and done for Russell Wilson and the starters, and so in comes Tavares Jackson to lead the 2nd unit. Of course, Jackson, you see his numbers there in the preseason. 3 touchdowns, no interception, 14 of 19, and as you talked about, as accurate as he has ever been in a Seattle uniform.
Sometimes numbers don't tell the whole story. In that case, it really does. His efficiency, his accuracy, his decision-making, all very much on point here in the preseason.
Good starting field position from the Oakland 42 after the return by Thurman. Kristen Michael dancing around, nowhere to go, no gain on the play.
Remember, Tom Cable was a one-time Oakland Raider head coach, and he's cut about 70 pounds. Feels better than ever, and he's going to keep a real keen eye on some of his young players out here. Alvin Bailey has had a very nice camp. Michael Bowie has had a nice camp, and he'd really like to see those guys cut it loose and let it go tonight. Watch how many times they can cut down these Raiders at the line of scrimmage.
Bailey playing left tackle, Bowie at right tackle right now, as Michael gets tripped up in the backfield. Lamar Houston, one of those 2 veteran returnees for the Raiders, makes the tackle.
Probably not a surprise. I think usually in these situations with a change of momentum play, Darrell Bevell loves to take a shot down the field. I think you're going to see a heavy dosage of run tonight. As much as they still want to learn about this quarterback battle, Chris Harper at receiver versus Steven Williams, some of the good battles, I think they also want to keep this clock moving as much as they can tonight.
Timeout called by the Raiders. 9:06 to go here in this opening period. Dennis Allen wanted to share a couple of things with the officials and maybe his team here as he calls the timeout.
Probably substitution there more than anything else. They've given us the opportunity, and that's going to come into play a little bit more this season. I don't know about you, Kurt, if you're ready for the regular season to begin like everybody else, but I am intrigued by Philadelphia more than anybody and what Chip Kelly's going to do with what I think Dennis Allen's talking about, just the tempo and being able to substitute. And the offense brings people in. Can we bring people in? Pete Carroll's familiar with it. He knows those collegiate schemes and how much tempo is playing a role at the college level. And I am deeply intrigued to see what Chip's going to do there in Philly.
Well, he is the guy that everybody's talking about. But if you look around the league, I mean, it kind of started last year with teams trying to get as many plays as they can. No one's doing it like Oregon. And Chip Kelly won't be able to do that at the NFL level either.
Not with the numbers. Not with 46 guys versus 85 on scholarship, 46, 47 on game day in the NFL. You just can't have it. You can't burden your defense in that kind of way.
There's a look at Allen, his second year. And it used to be coaches had time. But he's already on the hot seat after a 4-12 first year.
Look back, and it was 8-8, and it was 8-8, and Hugh Jackson, you felt like, was turning the corner maybe a little bit. They decided to go in a different direction and a major step back. And Reggie McKenzie's come in as GM, and they've cleaned house. I mean, you look at this roster, remarkably, 17 of 80. That's it.
Yeah.
We're here 2 years ago in 2011. Seahawks fans know a little bit of that as the transactions and all the churn that John Schneider and Pete Carroll had to do here. But even more so to clean up their salary cap. A lot of short-term fill-in veteran guys this season for Dennis Allen and Reggie McKenzie, and a tall task this year.
And that's the difference. The Seahawks were able to overturn that roster without being in salary cap purgatory.
That's exactly right.
So they were able to go and get guys for the long term. Here in Oakland, they've got so much dead money in the cap, they're just trying to get guys who can fill roster spots right now.
And then in year 3, Seattle also found their quarterback. And I think Oakland would like to have this guy under center, still desperately trying to find exactly who that next franchise quarterback will be.
Here's Tavares Jackson on 3rd and long for the Seahawks from the shotgun. Zips that one in right past Brian Walters. It falls incomplete, but there's a penalty marker down on the opposite side of the field.
The offsides, I think, on Oakland is a possibility what they're looking at.
Offside, number 99, lined up in the neutral zone, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
And that's on Lamar Houston. So we'll give the Seahawks another shot at it at a more manageable distance.
This is a good test for some of your young kids up front. You're going up against the ones still for Oakland here defensively, and you probably see the ones for Oakland a little bit more than the ones, well, I know you will, for Seattle tonight as they're trying to still find themselves in who they are. Houston, Sims, a number of the frontline starters still in here for Oakland.
Jackson from the shotgun again. Throws that out this time, caught by Luke Wilson, and a Seahawk first down. And so Seattle taking advantage of the second chance on the penalty.
And Luke's gotten better here week to week to week. He's really building. That's some of the consistency that Pete talks about. We saw him earlier on the little play action pass on 3rd and short, and that's a better job. They've talked a lot about getting his pads down and playing faster. That's shown off what some of that speed, why they took him in this draft, even though he had such little production in his senior year there at Rice. They love the measurables. You give me the speed to work with, says Pete Carroll, I'll find a role for him.
And he gains 11 yards to the 27. Jackson can't escape. He eventually brought down Lamar Houston there around his ankles, and eventually Pat Sims wrapped him up.
Unfortunately here, it looks like Michael Bowie is going to be running off the field, and that's just another good jump there by Oakland and their defensive group. And you see Bowie immediately after the play reach for the shoulder, and this is one of the areas tonight more than anything else. You want to leave this field and this stadium tonight healthy, and unfortunately the youngster who's had such a good camp, Bowie, and now being attended to on the sidelines.
Yeah, the last pick of the Seahawks draft, but he's a guy that's impressed the coaching staff here in training camp. Jackson rolling. Here's Luke Wilson again, fighting his way all the way down to the 23-yard line.
And that may not look like much, but I'm just going to tell you the difference between 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 in this league, and 3rd and 6 or 7. You know, an average tight end catches this pass, especially when they've got to flip their hips around. Maybe they get you 3 or 4 yards. Well, this kid shows you he can be more of that H-back tight end. And gets you 3 or 4 yards after that catch, setting up a much more manageable 3rd down run-pass option here.
5th-round pick out of Rice, multi-sport athlete growing up in Canada.
Excuse me, the sack still 3rd and 6, but more manageable.
Here's Jackson flushed out of the pocket and just able to get rid of the football. That was out of desperation. There's a flag down as well. We'll see if it's intentional grounding.
I don't know if that ball got back to the line of scrimmage or not. It was definitely in the vicinity of the shallow cross. And Oakland starters here pushing that pocket.
Referee Carl Cheffers. Here's another look. There's Pat Sims has him.
Intentional grounding, number 7, offense. 10-yard penalty, loss of down, 4th down.
I think you hear and you can read the lips there, Pete. Clearly there was a receiver in the vicinity. I think the question in conversations whether the ball got back to the line of scrimmage.
So Stephen Hauschka going to come in and attempt a long field goal here. This will be right about 56 yards, it looks like, where they're spotting it.
If San Diego was indicative, remember the 61-yarder was right off the goalpost.
This is the one area he struggled in last season. Field goals over 50 yards. He's got the leg. And the accuracy. Good from 56 yards away. Stephen Hauschka makes it a 10-point lead. Hey, 2 offensive possessions, 2 scores. Seahawks 10-0 midway through the first quarter. Well, there's a familiar face right in the middle of the Seagulls. Snoop Lyon. Got his Seahawks gear on tonight. Here to take in this preseason game.
Any shock that he was going to wear Marshawn's number? I mean, if you're going to pick one Seahawk that Snoop was going to wear the jersey of, probably a no-brainer, right?
Marshawn out of the Oakland area. And Snoop Lyon, at least when he was a Snoop Dogg, was a Raider fan. Kid going to UCLA. Loves football. He's coached some youth leagues as well.
It's in the hizzle.
You were waiting to get that, weren't you? Here's Jacoby Ford. Out across the 20-yard line. Spencer Ware on the tackle, and the Raiders will take it over. 2nd time for Terrell Pryor. And Seahawks have had the ball twice. They put up points each time. The only thing that's gone wrong so far, we were given a note during the timeout that Stephen Williams has headed to the locker room, and they're going to check him out for a possible concussion. And, of course, we know the protocol for that right now. Hopefully he doesn't have one, but if he does, there's 10 days before the season opener, assuming he makes the roster, and he's done everything this preseason to make the roster. Pryor under center. Zips it out, Rod Streeter. And Streeter going to be out to the 35-yard line. A gain of 14 on the play. Walter Thurmond eventually wrapped him up.
And once again, a good test here for some of the depth of the Seahawks against what's going to be, I think, many of the starters here for Oakland. Ones on twos, you always love that opportunity when you get in the game. And for Oakland and Terrell Pryor, this is an enormous opportunity. Everybody says, well, what can you really gain in the 4th preseason? This kid's fighting for a starting opportunity down there in Oakland, especially if he plays well tonight.
Out of the backfield, Jennings. Chris Maragos on the tackle.
You're going to see some unfamiliar faces on this defensive line, especially. A lot of new guys shuffled in there. And Maragos, he's a tough guy. He's willing from that safety position to get near that run game. You're going to see Dwayne Charrington, a good look there at Silver Salinga as well. Many new faces here. That defensive line room more decimated than any other position group with injuries. And my guy to watch, Bruce Irvin tonight. Expect to see a whole bunch more than 7 plays. Keep an eye on him right here on the edge.
Looking to rush. Drops back in coverage instead. Pryor flushed out of the pocket. Throws that underneath. Rod Streeter makes the catch. And that'll be good enough for an Oakland first down. Alan Bradford finally stopped him, but only after he got into Seattle territory.
That's a nice play by Pryor. They want to see him just play this game fast. He is such a good athlete. He doesn't have his first read, and this is what he does best. And he was a guy at Ohio State. I mean, world-class speed at the 40. He was a 4.4 guy at his size. And a nice job of giving Streeter a catchable ball.
14 yards on the pickup.
And a good test here as well. Remember, the Seahawks are going to see Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick early this season, a very mobile quarterback.
A handoff taken by Jennings. Right into the hands of John Lotulelei. And he wraps him up after a short 3-yard pickup.
And realizing that many of these guys won't be out there getting these starting reps when they play Carolina and Cam Newton or Kaepernick. But I asked Pete Carroll, how advantageous to see a running quarterback, an athletic quarterback that you know you're going to face, and when the play breaks down, they have that X factor, that ability to beat you. And he really likes this test with Terrell tonight, an opportunity that you want to keep him in the pocket. Don't allow him and all that speed to get started.
Quick pass up top. Denarius Moore slipped, and the ball falls incomplete.
So who's had the best training camp for the Seahawks? This guy would get into some of the arguments, Walter Thurmond III. What he's done in the punt return game, and then on the outside, and good little pressure here from Jay Howard as well. We talked about the struggles with Oakland up front. 7 sacks this preseason for Matt Flynn. Part of the reason he's not playing tonight. Part of the reason they want Terrell Pryor to really take this job and run with it to avoid some of that pressure.
12th man gets loud on 3rd down. Pryor runs. Gets around Jerron Johnson. 1st down and more. And that's what keeps him in there.
I had an Ohio State game a number of years ago, and Jim Tressel said one spring he decided to say the heck with it. He was going to have a track meet, brought in all the official timers. He said, if I get a guy that pops a hamstring, so be it in the spring. I want my guys to compete. Terrell Pryor, one of the fastest Buckeyes. Electronically at that time, he was mid-4.3s, and that's at 6'5 plus 240 pounds. You are talking a world-class athlete in the open field, a very difficult tackle, as Jerron Johnson just found out.
25 yards on that play to the 20 of Seattle. Pryor lost that one up for Denarius Moore. Moore cut in. Ball went out. Byron Maxwell on the coverage.
Well, good luck against these corners. I said the number 1s are in versus the number 2s. We've said it all training camp. Byron Maxwell, Walter Thurmond would start for other teams. There's no hometown bias or hyperbole to that. They've had that good a camp. Maxwell is fully healthy in year number 3. On the other side, he saw Thurmond on a fade route as well. You don't want to test those guys. They've learned from 2 of the very best in the game with Browner and Sherman, and just look at their aggressive press man coverage.
Quick pass for Moore again. Couldn't make the adjustment as Maxwell was there on tight coverage once again.
It's the little details all the time. Looks like it's a catch. Watch Maxwell never give up on this play. He's got, okay, it's back shoulder. It's an excellent throw. You can't do it much better than that, but you see him reach in. Watch him here at the last second. You reach and rip those arms out. That's well done against Denarius Moore. Had a very fine season last year. It's a good throw by Pryor, though.
Another 3rd and long.
You better communicate defensively.
Pryor chased and wrapped up. Ty Powell in there on the sack. Jay Howard was the first to really make him turn around and run right into Powell.
Very nice job, and that was some zone defense on 3rd and extra long. Oh, and you even see a forced fumble.
Yeah, that ball popped out for a while.
Couple nice snaps here by Jay Howard. He's a guy that's fighting to impress his former D coordinator there at Florida, Dan Quinn.
This is Justin Medlock on for a 45-yard field goal attempt. Their regular kicker, Sebastian Janikowski, got a sprained calf. They don't think it's too serious, just resting him until the regular season as the lefty, Medlock, gets it up and through, and so the Raiders are now on the board. A smile for Medlock.
So the mandate, you got to be a left-footed kicker down in Oakland, you think?
Probably makes it easier for the holder. He doesn't have to try and adjust temporarily, knowing you're going back to Janikowski when the regular season starts.
Oh, Janikowski, the longest tenured veteran
It's
right
unbelievable.
now. 6 years. That's it. And you want to talk about rebuilding and remaking a roster. The Seahawks did it. Remember, year 1 was the 7-9 year where you got a playoff win in this building against New Orleans.
So Pete Carroll has his team up by a touchdown, and you want to get through this game with no injuries. We've already talked about Stephen Williams and the concussion. We saw Michael Bowie go out earlier. He's got a shoulder injury. His return is unlikely tonight.
And Janikowski, obviously, a lot older than 6 years. I'm giving him credit. He's the only player with more than 6 years of experience. Janikowski been in this league a long time, 14 years overall, but that is it. And you're talking about trying to just introduce yourself to who some of the guys are on this team in the locker room.
Well, the Raiders have a history of keeping kickers around forever, don't they? So George Blanda and even the punter Ray Guy.
Yep.
Seems like those guys are always in a Raider uniform. Jermaine Kearse takes a knee, so it'll be starting at the 20 again for the Seahawks. Tavares Jackson back out. Took advantage of the good field position the last time. Completed 2 of 3 and set up the field goal.
A little bit more pressure here. Some of the backup offensive linemen, especially some of these young guys, gets a little bit more experience for Oakland defensively, and it still looks like Oakland's running some of their number ones.
Christine Michael dancing around the backfield once again, nowhere to go. Going to lose 3 yards on that one. And we've seen the Seahawk running backs, whether it's Turbin earlier or Michael now, have trouble just getting back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, when you're playing against a zone run offense, what you want to do defensively is exactly that. You want to penetrate. You see Alvin Bailey there driven 3 yards into the backfield. That's going to spell doom when you can't get these running backs started.
So Jackson will work from the shotgun. With time, dumps it up. Michael out of the backfield, shows the speed, lowers the shoulder, and knocks off a helmet in the process. Shelton Johnson tried to make the tackle, lost his helmet, and another big run after the catch. Penalty marker is down, but Michael shows that electricity.
What do they always say? I mean, what's one of the basic tenets in football? Low man wins. When you watch Christine Michael run, it is amazing with his center of gravity and how low he is to the ground, and a very powerful man at 215 pounds. I mean, how do you tackle that guy? If you're a safety and that's coming right at you and he even dips lower there. I wonder if this is a conversation about lowering that helmet rule. Remember?
There's no foul for unnecessary roughness. The result of the play, first down.
And that probably was the discussion.
That's exactly right. Was he using the crown of his helmet as a weapon? And there's going to be a little more focus on it this season for offensive players as well, not just defensively. But look at how low this guy is to the ground. 4'3", 4'4" runner. Yeah, and you don't see him burying the crown of his helmet into the chest. He's just ducking that shoulder. That's a good call, and a good no call there by the officials.
25 yards on the reception. Here's Jackson rolling. Looking downfield, throws it short for Arcito Clark, incomplete.
And that's just a throwaway there. Oakland did a much better job, and the play action been effective. That little naked route, you sell all that run. Okay, you're going to sell to stop the run, as Oakland has done here in this first quarter. What has Seattle done numerous times, taking advantage of that play action pass, get the quarterbacks on the edge, but a simple throwaway there, avoiding the negative.
Michael again around the corner, cuts it back. A couple moves later, he's got 9, maybe 10 yards on the run.
The conversation we had about Denver's receivers a few weeks ago. You tell me, as far as a running back group, and a much better job there. Stalemate. There's nobody 3 yards into that backfield. You allow your running back, your fullback, to get to that next level, and then he's going to beat those one-on-one tackles. Tell me a deeper running back room right now.
Yeah. Less than a yard for the first. Michael. Got it. And here's a kid, second-round pick out of Texas A&M, top pick this year for the Seahawks. And really, the only reason he slipped that low is because he had injuries in college.
That's exactly right. Significant knee and leg injury, and it's the physical contact. That's what you wanted to see from him this preseason. Tom Cable, very early in camp, said, I want to see whether this kid's willing to get in that briar patch, whether he's willing to get the ugly 4 yards and get his pads down. And I think he's proven you with numerous carries in 2 of the previous preseason games. He's willing to take on that contact.
He steps out. Turbin comes in, picks up the block. Tavares Jackson picks up the completion. Chris Harper, 4th-round pick out of K-State, with the grab.
And he really needed that, Kurt. You're talking about a 4th-round pick that's had a hard time getting on this field and showing what he's capable of doing. Excellent protection. Look at the air around Tavares Jackson compared to some of those earlier throws. And Tavares can feel that safety. That's a little bit more velocity. When you're a big-bodied receiver, you're 225 pounds, you have to come down with that reception through contact, and Harper does.
Robert Turbin bobbles it, eventually grabs it back, picks up about a yard on the play, penalty marker down as well. Actually, it's not a penalty flag. You know what? It's the clock getting to 0. That's why we will take a quick timeout. The first quarter's over. 3 more quarters left to go here in the preseason. So far, the Seahawks have looked good on offense and defense, and they've got a touchdown lead over the Raiders. Lottery and Department of Imagination. Imagine the possibilities.
It's usually the go zone here. You like your opportunities right around here to take, at times, especially as good as the play action has been in that first quarter, maybe a time here for another play action shot to the end zone.
Seahawks, 3rd offensive possession of the game. They've scored each of the first 2 times they've touched the ball. Jackson to start this second quarter, flushed out of the pocket. Throws it underneath, and the pass is caught. That's the tight end, Sean McGrath. No, incomplete now. They come in and overrule it.
Where does the beard start and the chin strap begin?
Well, he can't get it down over it. We're going to take another look at this.
And that was a heck of an effort. He said he got underneath it. Let's see.
You'd never see the ball touch the ground. It does come out. It looked like he got it between his legs. And the Seahawks are going to challenge it.
Seattle is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass. We'll review the play.
Well, while they take a timeout to review the play, we'll take a timeout here on the field. We'll see if it's a catch when we come back. Here's Carl Cheffers. He had a chance to take a look at it. We'll see what the call is. Remember, it was called an incomplete pass on the field, so they'll have to see evidence to overturn it. Even though it looked to us like he might have caught it, we'll let Cheffers be the judge.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. 4th down.
You have to have clear evidence, obviously, and from the replays that we saw, he kind of goes out of screen for a bit, blocked by some players, and you can't really tell what happens to the ball, even though it looks like a completion.
Had this been called a reception, there's no way they're going to overturn it. Now, this is completely unorthodox, and it looks like he squeezes right there with his forearm and elbow into his thigh and squeezes it, and the ball never hits the ground. Unfortunately, their 52 Gaither, I think, gets in the way of the view, and that's where that call, that initial call, is so important.
And that's why you have to stick with what was called on the field. So after the incompletion, 3rd down, Seahawks needing the 27.
That's pressure.
They bring it. Jackson zips it out. This time caught by Luke Wilson. And the tight end going to be just short of another 1st down.
And what tremendous blitz pickup. This is another point of emphasis this week has been the running backs here. And look at Turbin step up. This is what you want to do. Just plow. Just your pads down. And Luke Wilson, once again, an excellent route showing off there. Some of the hand separation. Well done.
And the Seahawks will go for it on 4th. Robert Turbin deep in the backfield. Derek Coleman blocking in front of him. Blitz picked up. Jackson around the end. 1st down, Seattle.
And this is where he has been so good this preseason, is just decisive. And you would expect that. He's got many years under his belt, and especially in this offense. You see no panic on 4th down. Everything is taken away. Yet he gets to the edge, and he knows the down and distance and situation. Mike Holmgren always used to say, it's not just knowing the play and what you want to do, it's knowing the game situation as well. 4th down, Tavares moving the chains.
1st down at the 25. Here's Jackson. Dumps it off. Turbin. 7-yard pickup. And there's just something about Tavares. I mean, when he was here really 2 years ago, that season he started the full season, was injured, fought through. That's why the players talk about how much they love him. But there's a calmness that seems to surround him this year, knowing that he's the backup that wasn't there in previous years.
And I think that happens when your play is at the level it is. And I've never seen him throw it better. When he was here a couple years ago, he did not throw the ball. He just did not spin it the way that he is spinning it today. And I don't know if that's confidence. I don't know if he's slimmed down a little bit, but he's playing his best ball.
Robert Turbin bouncing it outside. Can't get around the corner. Back to the line of scrimmage, if that.
Physical, aren't they? When you look at Michael, when you look at Turbin, when you look at Marshawn Lynch in pregame and those guys warm up, they're all 220-plus pounds. They're no fun to tackle. And they're a group that not only gets better as the game evolves, I would fully expect with that kind of depth as the season evolves, that group should be even better into November and December as they're able to split carries.
Just a tough rotation to deal with. You never really get a break as a defense. Some confusion by the Raiders. Tavares Jackson takes advantage of it, spins out across the 10-yard line for a 1st down. 9 yards on the run.
You know, we talked earlier on Russell Wilson's scramble. When it's man coverage, nobody's accounting for the quarterback. Well, Tavares saw exactly what you saw. He also felt the pressure and needed to step up, but saw that level of confusion by Oakland defensively. And that's just a tremendous play. We saw Pryor in the open field beat a blocker one-on-one. That's quarterback on a linebacker. You get that done, you're doing things at that position.
1st down. Here's Turbin. And he's wrapped up immediately in the backfield. Nowhere to go on that play. Reggie Smith with the tackle.
And that's tough there. That's just a safety coming off the edge. Nobody there to account for him in your run game. And there's a time you want to have tempo and get going. And this, unfortunately, they just outnumber you. That's Luke Wilson doing the right thing. He's got to cut off that backside block, and Oakland wins. And that's what happens sometimes within this offense, within this system. It's not a huge check with me. They like to establish some of that tempo. Oakland creates a negative play.
Jackson zips that one off the chest of Arcito Clark, incomplete. Another one of those young wide receivers who needs to take advantage of every opportunity just because of the way the other guys have played this preseason.
It's such a difficult room to get opportunities this training camp. Even as careful as they've been with Sidney and obviously Percy Harvin out, but we've seen Stephen Williams. We saw a nice catch earlier from Chris Harper. Just a highly competitive group. And this is a situation where if the read can take you there, I'd love to see Chris Harper getting opportunities at the bottom of your screen down here. I got many cracks at it this preseason.
Jackson going up top, Brian Walters. His first catch of the preseason. Going to take it down to the 4-yard line, and Walters is a guy who's been battling a hamstring, missed all 3 games, but Kirkland native loving the opportunity to play for Seattle.
A little better protection, just zone defense hard in the red zone on 3rd and 10 plus. As you see Oakland, they played a deep safety over Harper, deep safety on the trip side as well. And the only throw you got is to get you in a better position to kick the field goal. A nice job of showing the hands there for the former Juanita Rebel.
Stephen Hauschka on to attempt another field goal. This one from 21 yards away, and it's just as good. Another offensive possession, more points for Seattle. 3 for 3 are the Seahawks, and they lead it by 10. Seahawks football is brought to you by Red Robin Restaurants. Remember, a Seahawk Red Zone touchdown means a Tavern Double Tuesday for you. Well, the clouds are still around, but the rain has gone. We saw it pre-game. Since then, it's, I won't say raining scores, because 2 of them have been field goals, but there's a good sign there on the sideline as we see Stephen Williams back. He was being checked out for a concussion. But at least he's back on the sideline, still in uniform.
And my guess is, having had a few of those concussions, if it was serious, I don't think he'd be back out there. So that is a good sign.
Jacoby Ford going to bring this one out. And he stopped about the 25-yard line. Spencer Ware was the first guy to hit him. And the Seahawks defense will try to stop Oakland one more time here in the early going of the second quarter. Well, the 12th man feeling good about what has happened so far in this preseason. 13-3. Seahawks lead the Raiders in this preseason finale, trying to go 4-0 for the second straight year.
And good to see 51 on the field. And it's been a bummer that he's battled a little bit of a groin because they really wanted to get him many reps at that new position you're seeing him at, that strong side linebacker. Good mix of some pass rush and coverage down here at the bottom of the screen.
Pryor going deep, plenty of time, underthrown, one-hand interception, made Walter Thurman with the pick. Wow.
Told you these guys are good, Kurt. They don't look at themselves as a backup, and how can you when you make a play like that?
Well, this interception is being reviewed right now. Walter Thurman with what looked like a spectacular grab.
And I love the conversation with Chris Richard, secondary coach, saying, go up there and get that thing with 2 hands, make your job a little bit easier. It shows you his athleticism with 1, and if earlier they could not overturn the original call of incomplete pass, is there indisputable shot there that ball is moving at the end? Remember, he's got to contain it and possess it all the way through. Contact there with the ground.
Has there been anybody who's had a better camp than him? I know we've talked about a lot of guys that have looked really good this preseason, but none as good as Thurman has in a variety of ways.
Well, what did he say to us yesterday in our meeting? He said this game has just slowed down. He's a 4th-year player, believe it or not. He almost feels like a rookie because of so many of the injuries and the high ankle sprains, a significant knee injury coming out of Oregon that saw him drop in the draft. He's had such a hard time really showcasing that giddy up. That's what he's got. He has got some real explosiveness in his games. You see it on the punt return, and you see it in the makeup there on that interception.
Here's the call.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Seattle.
And when those officials tell you it stands, that's telling you there was no video evidence to overturn it. Nothing indisputable about that. He's probably disappointed. Remember, he also said, every time that ball is in my hands, I'm thinking touchdown.
Yeah. That's the 9th turnover the Seahawks have created this preseason. They've only given away those 2 times last week on the interceptions. So the offense takes over at the 30-yard line. Tavares Jackson underneath. Christine Michael out of the backfield. Short gain of a couple of yards.
So why Christine is it spelled? Well, because my mom wanted a girl, so she picked the name before I was born, and I'll just roll with it. You want to call me Christine? It's obviously Kristen, but it sure looks like Christine on paper.
Yeah, that's how it's spelled.
And what a joy he was yesterday. What a joy he's really been in camp. So many of these guys, so many of these young players, just not willing to back down and accept a secondary role.
Here's Michael again, picks up a couple of more. After initial contact, fought his way back to the line of scrimmage. And the thing about him is that he came in here and people were saying, well, maybe he got drafted too highly and probably looking to be that 3rd back behind Turbin, the way Turbin played last year. But he's come in and made it a true competition to be the backup to Marshawn Lynch.
You know, usually it's in the NBA, it's all about projecting, right? You'll take guys on because of their talent and what do they project to be. John Schneider and this regime, their personnel department, more than willing to do with it if you've got a special skill set.
Flag down, free play. Overthrown. That pass was intended for Brian Walters, but the Raiders were offside.
Does that make sense when you look at Luke Wilson? And even though the productivity there in college wasn't there at the end with some injuries.
Offside, number 52, defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
I like how his speed projects in there. And we saw Russell Wilson do this earlier in that Denver game. You know you've got a free shot there. Why not?
When you talk about just drafting guys and signing guys, I mean, the depth of this Seahawks squad right now, as good as any in the National Football League. And you talk to people all around the NFL, and they'll say, we don't know the final cuts, but no matter what it turns out to be, 1 to 53, Seattle's going to be as strong as anybody. Out of the backfield, Derek Coleman. And Coleman gets a 1st down. Another young guy just looking for an opportunity and trying to take advantage of every chance he gets tonight, playing fullback. Rookie out of UCLA, 2nd-year guy out of UCLA.
You know, Michael Robinson has battled a bit of a viral infection here over the last couple weeks. He wouldn't have played a ton anyway tonight. And Derek Coleman, such a neat story, was a guy that carried the ball at UCLA a whole bunch and shows you that versatility that Darrell Bevell really loves out of that fullback position. Block, run, and most importantly, get out of that backfield and catch the ball.
Flag down before the ball was snapped.
Start, number 75, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Called on Mike Person.
Is that one of our first Seahawk penalties?
Yes, it is.
Remember, such a bugaboo a week ago in Green Bay, and a point for Pete Carroll this week. And you can see Person not happy about it.
14 penalties in that game, and we've seen it week in and week out. And so far, as you said, this is as clean as it's been. Something that the Seahawks really worked on all week long. And Pete Carroll told us that part of the problem is that he wants his team to be aggressive. But there's a fine line between being aggressive and overly aggressive. Off the bootleg, Cooper Helfet falls forward after contact, takes it all the way down to the 40-yard line of Oakland.
Well, I'll tell you who's being overly aggressive is this Oakland group at the line of scrimmage. These linebackers are fast flowing on all that run action. It's got to be the 5th or 6th time we've seen this very same concept. Look at Oakland there. The eyes follow the run game. They get flat-footed. And Helfet saying, hey, Luke Wilson's not the only guy in this tight end room that can run a little bit.
16 yards and a 1st down. Jackson evades the rush. Going up top, wide open. Oh, my goodness. Chris Harper had it and couldn't haul it in.
And we saw him earlier in the game on that corner route, feel the contact, absorb it, and still come down with it. This is one, that's a play, and that's one that you got to have, unfortunately. He can see it's almost like a punt. Everybody is bearing down to you. You almost see the eyes there. Do you see the eyes right at the reception? I think he's looking at that safety just flying over to him, but you got to do the best you can, and he knows it, to concentrate on that catch.
Quick pass. Brian Walters gets a block. 1st down, Seahawks. And not only a good run after the catch by Walter, there's a penalty marker on the play. We'll see if that block was legal, but that was a heck of a block on the outside.
Number 14 offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
And that's why it was a heck of a block. Arcito Clark called for holding.
Yeah, and the hands on the hips and the gum getting chewed because a couple penalties here. You want the first 23 or so minutes of game action without a penalty. Arcito, not the biggest guy in the world, just fighting out there on that little bubble screen, and that's Percy Harvin territory. Seahawks fans, get ready, hopefully, in late November, early December to see a lot of that. And you're going to get Percy out there on those little bubble screens, and the Sidney Rices and the Golden Tates and the Doug Baldwins, such good blockers in that receiving crew. Trust me, when Percy comes back, that play will be run a bunch.
So they give him 1 yard on the pass completion, then back it up 10 more on the penalty. Jackson zips that one, sliding. This is Arcito Clark making up for it with the catch. It's a way to bounce back.
It's about the 5th time you've said zip, and it's a completely accurate analysis. There is not a lot of room here. It's just a very basic concept. You're going to see a lot of basic plays here, a lot of base passing game, the short hook and the deep in behind it. Safety right over the top, and if that ball is not zipped in low and away, that's a trouble spot.
Challenge flag thrown by the Raiders.
Oakland is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass. We'll review the play.
So they want to take another look. Less than 6 minutes left here in this first half. 10-point ball game. Play is under review. We'll see you in a minute. And so the play will stand. It was a completed catch. He held it all the way through, as you'll see here on the replay.
If you watched Hard Knocks last night, you saw the Bengals go through their receiving drills, and they like to hit each other, and you bang on the forehead and the helmet and the shoulder pads. Not just a distraction drill, a lot of contact there for Arcito before the ball even gets to him, and an excellent job of staying with that catch.
Brings up 3rd and 5. Jackson with the throw. Flags come flying. Ball was intended for Jermaine Kearse, but the Raiders were draped all over him before he could even get there. I think that's Phillip Adams, the former Seahawk.
Pass interference, number 28, defense. Automatic, first down.
Adams all over him.
Yeah, I don't know what he's complaining about. A little bit of a face mask early, grabbing him the entire way. He doesn't like the call. Jermaine does. And the chains moved on a 3rd down.
Seahawks love it. Keeps the chains moving, keeps the clock running, and gives them a first down at the 28-yard line.
Safety look here, opportunity possibly at that play action shot.
They hand it off to Michael. Nowhere to go. Caught in the backfield by David Bass. Big linebacker.
One of your player to watch, big 77, James Carpenter. He's gotten some good run here. He's battled some injuries in the preseason as well, and he does a nice job locking onto his defender. And we saw Green Bay do this a little bit a week ago as well, and just scraping with those linebackers. And that's great, but all that tells Darrell Bevell and Tom Cable as well, we'll continue to play action pass you then if you're going to be that aggressive with your linebackers.
Michael again. Slips as he tries to spin, but that's because he couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Kalen Burnett right there to meet him, number 95, and 2 runs, minus 1 yard total.
And just take a look at big James Carpenter. It was a foot injury. It was the knee, obviously, in the offseason. He battled a little bit of a foot, but he is a difference maker. When we talk about projecting different Seahawks and what they can be, getting big James in there, as powerful as he is in the middle of that line, he's a difference maker.
And he's expected to play as much as he physically can tonight, just to try to get him ready for the regular season. Here's Jackson dancing around, and that doesn't look good. He holds on to the football, was twisted all around there like a pretzel.
And unfortunately, James does his job here as he runs his defender through. But an excellent effort there.
Christo Bulakidi.
Oakland's played hard. I mean, this has not been an effort thing for Oakland, but I think it's shown up the challenges they have on their roster right now, 1 through 80.
Steven Hauschka has made one from 56, one from 22, this from 51. And it is just as good. So a pair of field goals over the 50-yard mark tonight for Hauschka. And the Seahawks have put up points on all 4 possessions.
And I know it's not maybe as appealing as some of the other positions to talk about, and kickers tend to be minimized in a locker room. But this has been an excellent preseason for Hauschka, and it really began down in San Diego when he attempted that 61-yarder, and I think everybody kind of took a little bit of a, whoa, what are we doing here? Right. I mean, he struggled from 50 and beyond a year ago, and then really his only misses were from 50 and beyond last year. And this preseason, we saw him with the 56-yarder with some room, another 50-yarder. The 61-yarder was right off the goalpost, 7 touchbacks as well. And in this division, Kurt, when you look at San Francisco, when you look at the improvement with St. Louis, and even Arizona is no gimme. And with Tom Cable and Pete Carroll, and as much as they're going to run the ball and play great defense against good teams, if you can get a 55-yarder, if they don't always have to be 40 or 35 or 45-yarders, those 3 points with the #1 scoring defense a year ago can make a difference.
And we know how many games in the National Football League just comes down to 3 points at the end, or 6 points. It's not always a last-second field goal. It's one of those you make early on that winds up being the difference between victory and loss.
Well, and this part of it as well. As I said, all the touchbacks throughout the preseason. Sure like that. You give the Legion a boom, and this #1 scoring defense from last year, the opportunity to have the opponent start at the 20-yard line every time, that's advantage Seahawks.
Terrell Pryor still in the ball game against this defense, and mostly second and third teamers, but this defense has been impressive throughout the preseason. You talked about giving up the fewest points in the NFL last season, only 15 a game. They gave up the fewest points last preseason at only 11 a game, and they're better than that this year. 3 straight weeks, 10 points each week.
And he's trying to test these corners with a couple fade routes, incompletes, and then the big go route down the field that Walter Thurman picked off last time. Maxwell Thurman still in. Actually, Jeremy Lane as well. They don't think of themselves in any way as second or third stringers.
Wide open, Rashad Jennings. They take advantage on the draw play. Jennings is going to gain 9 yards. John Lotulelei on the tackle. Here's a kid who came out of the gate really strong early in the preseason.
I think we may have one of the bigger beards in the NFL with McGrath, and I don't know. Pico in Cincinnati's pushing that hair, but got everything accounted for here in Seattle.
Jennings again. Through the hole, gets the first down and more. Finally knocked out of bounds by Jeremy Lane, but initially got over the line of scrimmage, and then there was plenty of room after that.
We talked about the big backs of Seattle. Jennings 230 pounds as well. And you see, unfortunately, Maragos there, the last line of defense, gets a little bit lost in the wash there. And Lotulelei as well. These reps so critical for John as he's fighting for one of those last roster spots, fighting for a special teams role, fighting to make those tackles.
32 yards. Pryor running. Has blocked, stayed in bounds. Finally knocked out by Jerron Johnson. I think he was expecting someone to come hit him and knock him out of bounds even earlier.
After you throw an interception, which Maxwell got earlier, there are times maybe to take a little frustration. Most quarterbacks will throw it to that underneath flat route, but not when you can run the way Pryor can. He's a blocker in the open field.
17 yards on that run. We saw him run one for 25 earlier in the ball game. From the 22, the pitch to Jennings. Jennings picks up a yard on the play. Jerron Johnson in there on the tackle. Silver Salinga, one of the newest Seahawks, also hoping to wrap him up, and it should get us to the 2-minute warning. Seahawk offense has scored each time it's touched the ball. The defense has given up just a field goal. The Raiders are knocking on the door right now, but there's 2 minutes left to go here before intermission. 16-3, Seahawks on top.
Back here at CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington, the Seahawks on top of the Raiders 16-3 at the 2-minute warning. Aaron Levine alongside Mac Strong. Mac, the first team did its job. The backup's now looking strong. No pun intended, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, you know what? Just how Pete Carroll scripted it, I'm sure. First team went right down offense, and they scored. Everybody, ever since then, has just been doing their job. Defense playing stingy. Second team offense has gotten in. Tavares Jackson looking really comfortable back there in the quarterback position. And a lot of guys making plays and leaving it all on the line.
A lot to get to on the halftime show coming up. Let's send it back up to the booth and Kurt and Brock, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. 2 minutes left here in this first half of the final preseason game. And we talked about so many guys playing for jobs with the roster cut by Saturday. Has to go from 75 players down to 53, and there's been a lot of young men who've made impressions tonight for the Seattle Seahawks.
The pistol look here from Oakland. Keep Pryor in the pocket.
They do. He gets around Jennings. Bruce Irvin chases him down and wrestles him out of bounds. You called it.
He is just so fast. He was another prospect that they projected when many of the folks in the draft and the pundits said, what are you doing drafting Bruce Irvin 15? Well, it's for that. It's for that speed and the ability to run down a world-class runner in Terrell Pryor. He did it a season ago, and this is why they like him at that Sam linebacker position as well. Not just pinning his ears back and rushing, but the ability at that position to really play sideline to sideline as well.
Drops him for a 5-yard loss. Off the draw play, Pryor. Going to slide out across the 20, far short of the first down. Walter Thurmond will be credited with the tackle because he was standing right there ready to wrap him up.
And I'm sure Terrell Pryor is saying there's just not many guys that wear the number 50 that chase me down like that. Who was that? Well, who that was is a guy that also runs 4'4", 245 pounds. And a good look there. That was that pistol and some of that zone read that they're going to see with Carolina, with San Francisco.
So Justin Medlock will try another field goal. This one from 37 yards away. Adds that to his 45-yarder from earlier, and it's back to being a 10-point ball game with 28 seconds left on the clock.
Well, in a pretty good half here, as Mac and Aaron were alluding to. When you draw up a script and you're taking on an Oakland Raiders team that right now Dennis Allen knows his roster is not what the Seattle Seahawks roster is and what Pete Carroll has to work with. He wanted to clean up the penalties, and largely he's done that. Just a couple penalties, the holding call and the false start. Much better improvement after, 140-plus yards and penalties a week ago. You see the special teams continue to be very sharp and efficient. Stephen Hauschka's building on his camp. And Bruce Irvin getting a lot of run.
You mentioned earlier that he's going to miss the first 4 games of the regular season under that suspension, so he's going to play as much as he can tonight at that new position.
That's not easy. Brandon Browner went through that a year ago, and Brandon talked about it this training camp. It's hard to go away for 4 weeks and as much running as you want to do, and you try to stay in football shape. There's just something different about having pads on in the football conditioning element, but he's got to do it because they're going to need him when he comes back. Just as this roster is going to need a Chris Clemens and need a Percy Harvin, as good as they are, those are still difference makers that can infuse them with even more capabilities and explosiveness.
And that ball gets by Deshaun Shedd through the end zone. So 28 seconds here. We'll see what the Seahawks try to do. Tavares Jackson getting instructions from Darrell Bevel, the offensive coordinator. Good first half for him after coming in to take over from Russell Wilson.
Yeah, very efficient. Avoided the negative plays. You know, he did that a couple years ago as well when he was 7-7 as a starter. He also making some plays and moving the chains with some of his scrambles and buying some extra time. I know he would like to get the touchdowns. I know Chris Harper would have liked to brought in that touchdown pass as well. But once again, a very good couple quarters of play here from Tavares.
Flags fly.
False. False start, number 77. Offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's on James Carpenter. You wonder if he's getting a little bit tired right now. This is the most action, obviously, he's seen this preseason, missing all that time with the foot.
I'd give that to you on play 8 or 9. I don't know if I'm going to give that to you on the first play of the drive, unfortunately. I think this is just a run and get into halftime and finish this game out in the second half, much in the fashion he did here in the first half.
Spencer Ware picks up a couple. And the Seahawks content to let that be the final play of the first half. But it was a good first half. This is the only possession the offense didn't score on. And the clock will take him to halftime. A touchdown by Russell Wilson on the opening drive. He led him to the score. Turbin ran it in for the 7 points. That's the only touchdown of the first half. Field goals after that, 16-6. Seahawks with the lead. The halftime show on the other side. Stick around.
Welcome back to the Ram Trucks halftime show. The Seahawks on top of the Oakland Raiders, 16-6. Seattle going for their 9th straight preseason win. Let's take a look at the halftime stats, Mac. The Seahawks outgaining the Oakland Raiders 214-120, but the real key here, offensive plays and time of possession, a huge difference there.
Yeah, I like it. I like what the Seahawks have done. That just shows that they've been very efficient on the offense, both running and passing the football. When you're able to keep that time of possession, that's pretty lopsided. When it's 2-1 in that area, that shows that you're doing some great things offensively. So that has a lot to do with the quarterback, the offensive line, everybody on the opposite side of the of the line of scrimmage. Those guys are just doing a great job.
And again, winning the turnover battle, 1-0. Took it away. Brady Quinn taking over for Tavares Jackson in the second half. What do you expect?
Well, he's going to come out here and just show a lot of consistency. I don't think he needs to do anything outside of what he's been doing all preseason. Just come out, throw the football the way that he knows how to throw it, be as accurate as you can, and just let the chips fall where they may. I think, he's going to be playing with a lot of different guys. He's going to be out there trying to make the football team just like him.
One last chance for Brady Quinn. Let's send it back up to the booth. And Kurt and Brock, take it away, guys.
All right, guys. You know, Brock, one of the interesting things is the time of possession, as we saw, 2-1, yet the Seahawks only have 34 yards rushing in the first half.
That's right, and you take the quarterbacks out of the equation, and Russell and Tavares leading the way there in the run game, 14 carries for 11 yards. I mean, that's why numbers, you can always skew them and paint them in whatever way. And Mac's right, the time of possession, very, very dominant, but I'm going to guess we took a shot at Tom Cable, the head coach there, going into halftime, talking about what they want to do. I'm going to guess getting that running game going, especially for Brady. He's not quite as adept of all the movement passing that Tavares and Russell are. Get that run game going, probably a focus here in the second half.
How much pressure is on Brady Quinn to come in and try and match what Tavares Jackson did?
You got to be very careful. You really can't think that way, Kurt. It's got to be, like Mac said, about your job and what you're doing. You really can't focus in on what everybody else is doing. Brady's had an excellent camp. He's played within himself. He's cut it loose a little bit more and been efficient, and that's what he's going to have to be thinking of executing and doing here in the second half.
There you see his numbers in the preseason. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 14 of 23.
You know, the 14 rushes for 11 yards. Also remember what Oakland is doing. They're giving up a lot of that play-action pass. It's pick your poison in a way. What do you want to do? Do you want to overload? Do you want to get your safeties involved in the run game? Well, then we're going to hit a lot of those play-action passes. So Brady's going to have to figure out here with Darrell Bevell and Tom Cable exactly what Oakland's plan of attack is. And then your offense is good enough to take advantage of what they're giving you.
Stephen Hauschka set to kick off the second half. Through the end zone, Taiwan Jones, the former Eastern Washington product, going to catch it for a touchback, and the Raiders will start at the 20-yard line, and they've got a new quarterback in, Matt McGloin, kid out of Penn State. Actually, he's been their most consistent guy this preseason.
Undrafted. Remember, they drafted Tyler Wilson out of Arkansas in the 4th round, and he's just struggling right now. And talking to a number of the folks in the Oakland organization, Tyler just having a tough time grasping the entirety of the offense. And Matt McGloin comes out of Penn State, a pro-style system there, very well coached a season ago, very efficient with the Nittany Lions. Undrafted, says, that's fine, give me an opportunity and I'll run with it.
Starting from the 20, McGloin out of the backfield. A weird-looking pass. Play might have been tipped. Jeremy Stewart finally grabbed it and picks up a couple yards on the play.
Stanford grad. Oakland very much like the Seattle Seahawks, and you wonder with Reggie McKenzie, the GM, like John Schneider, they like those big physical backs. I don't know if that was tipped or that was just a little sinker, unfortunately, for McGloin, but good enough to, on first down, get some yardage.
Picked up 6. A little knuckleball came out of his hand. Working from the shotgun. Zips it over to Jacoby Ford, and Ford, he wrapped up. Bruce Irvin, the first guy to get him. Jeremy Lane eventually wrapped him up completely.
And once again, Bruce Irvin showing you some of his versatility at linebacker, and that really is why they moved him to Sam. It's not just because, well, he can rush the passer and be one-dimensional. They really feel like with Dan Quinn within this defense, they want to play to his entire skill set. And he's done a nice job watching him in coverage, even though he didn't do a lot of it at West Virginia. He's really taken to playing in space pretty well.
Remember, he started junior college as a safety. That ball thrown behind Stewart, incomplete. And so it'll be a 3-and-out to start the second half for the Seahawk defense.
A nice little pass rush there.
Brian Walters going to be back to take the punt.
I was going to say, Jay Howard we've had his number called. We have seen him in this backfield more, I think, this game than I have all preseason long. And this is a big one for Jay. This is a big one for Brian. This is a big second half for a number of these guys. You just can't say it enough. Fighting for a role, fighting for a spot on this team.
Walters from the 20. Good return. About 12 yards after the punt by Marquette King, and so Brady Quinn will take over for the first time as Seahawk quarterback here on this opening possession of the second half. Spent the whole offseason here, first year with Seattle, 4th NFL team, former first-round pick of the Cleveland Browns, and we've mentioned it repeatedly in that backup battle with Tavares Jackson. Jackson was efficient with his playing time. We'll see how Quinn will do as he hands it off to Spencer Ware on first down. And Ware picks up a couple of yards.
This is really where you can't think about anybody else. You can't be thinking about what these 30 minutes are going to look like. You can't be worried about what Tavares Jackson did. This is play-by-play as it comes in from Darrell Bevell. You just got to focus on what you're doing, and Brady's done a nice job of that this preseason.
Another young man who's just talked about how comfortable he is in the Seahawks system. Rolling. Gets it out to Darren Fells, and the tight end will fall forward to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 8 yards on the play.
And once again, Oakland's going to commit that extra defender. They're going to do their best to try to take away that run action, get an unblocked defender in the box. And when you do, as you saw Russell and Tavares, and now Brady there on a 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8 call. Hey, if they're going to commit to that, then you've got to keep taking what the defense is giving you. And what they're giving you, well, is a lot of open play action pass.
3rd and short. Ware behind Coleman in the backfield. They fake the handoff to Fells again, and the tight end gets the first down before taking it into Oakland territory, down to the 46-yard line.
You spend time with John Schneider and Pete Carroll, you're going to hear words like awesome and cool. And John Schneider says, now this guy's cool, man. I just kind of like a 6'7", 6'8", former basketball player at UC Irvine. He's just got a cool skill set. He's a difference maker. He's a big guy that's trying to learn this game of football. Yeah, is he raw with some of the technique? Is he probably a really good candidate for the practice squad? Yes, he is. But once again, a skill set that is unique, that is cool, and it's going to find a place in this system.
Quinn looking, running instead. Slide after a short gain. You talk about Fells. I mean, here's a guy, he's 27 years old. college basketball player at UC Irvine, played professional basketball in Europe and in South America, and you know he's athletic, obviously, he can do both, but his brother Daniel Fells, a tight end with the New England Patriots, so it kind of runs in the family.
Look at that, 6'7", 281 pounds. How many of those body types are there playing tight end in this league?
You know, it's amazing. Since Antonio Gates came in, you know, and Tony Gonzalez was too, but a lot of converted basketball players in the tight end slot lately, last 10 years or so. That went off the hands of Cooper Helfet, the other tight end. Throw just a little bit high, but he still had a chance at it.
Yeah, throwing right into the blitz there. That's the right read. Ball a little bit hot there, a little bit high. But Quinn can see the blitzing linebackers come, and yeah, that's one off the face mask. You got to try to find to bring in if you're the tight end.
So another third down situation. Out of the shotgun, Quinn, pressure, gets it off, can't complete it. Arcito Clark, the nearest Seahawk there, but Quinn just kind of having to throw off the back foot, can't get enough on it.
And that's unfortunate where that second down leads now to a third down situation, and Oakland's gotten some good pressure and a good pop there right underneath the chin of Brady Quinn, and able to really set his feet and throw that ball where he wanted to.
Yeah, first punt of the night for John Ryan, as the Seahawks scored a touchdown on the opening possession, then 3 straight field goals, and then the clock caught them at halftime, and this is the first time they haven't been successful on offense. Phillip Adams, the former Seahawk, standing back inside his 10. Good punt by Ryan. Jeremy Lane got it down it right at the 5-yard line. "40 yards on the punt, and it was perfect." Seahawks football is presented by Washington's Lottery and Department of Imagination. Imagine the possibilities. 10:30 to go here. In this third quarter, Kurt Menefee, Brock Hewitt with you in the final preseason game. Seahawks up by 10 over Oakland, and after the punt by Ryan, Raiders deep in their own territory. Handoff taken by Stewart, and Stewart caught from behind. Winston Guy dances.
We've seen this on a few different occasions tonight. A little bit of a 3-4 look by the Seahawks defensively. I think part of it's some of the challenge right now with the numbers on the defensive line, but also because of the capability of some of these backup linebackers. And Winston Guy will hit you. He did the forced fumble a week ago in Green Bay, and that's how you get it done. That's legal. There's no penalty there in the NFL. That's just perfect technique, head up, driving through the running back.
And second down, Matt McGloin sidearms it. Jacoby Ford made the grab out to the 20-yard line. Ron Parker with a stop.
We asked earlier, was the ball tipped? Now it's sidearmed. There's just something about this kid, Matt McGloin. He was at Penn State. Bill O'Brien last year, remember, did one of the marvelous coaching jobs in all of college football. Matt McGloin's a kid out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he's just the guy that gets the job done. It's not going to be always pretty or perfect. He's not 6'3", but he's in many ways beating out their 4th-round pick, Tyler Wilson, because he just simply has game.
Here's Jeremy Stewart pushing the pile. Gets out to the 36-yard line.
I don't know how many other venues tonight in 4th preseason games are you going to see crowds like this one. People don't want to leave this venue. If there's a guy that knows 4th quarter action or 4th preseason second half action, you're looking at him, Kurt. And I don't remember crowds like this sticking around and generating still the kind of noise you hear reverberating around the plank.
Much easier to call plays on the road for you, huh?
I know second half 4th preseason game ball.
Here's Jeremy Stewart, caught at the line of scrimmage. Nowhere to run. Dwayne Charrington and John Lotulelei. Charrington just bottled up that hole.
Those big bodies doing a better job here of freeing it up and allowing those linebackers and safeties to finish. And we have learned one thing through 4 preseason games. Lotulelei is going to hit you. he is more than willing. Again, undersized, 5'11", 230 pounds. He's done it all camp long. Every preseason game, when getting an opportunity, he will stick his nose in there.
From the shotgun on third down, McGloin. Pressured. Fires. Caught Jacoby Ford, and Winston Guy wrapped him up. Good series for the Seahawk defense. Good series for Winston Guy.
And really good communication, even out of the backups here. A much better job. You can see the stack alignment by the receivers there with Oakland. This is a shallow cross. And Winston Guy says, no problem, no issue here. I see the zone coverage. I'm going to come off of it. And even on a third and pretty short situation, make a sure tackle and force the punt.
Chris Kluwe, former Minnesota Viking, set to punt this one away. Brian Walters. Backed up from the 22. Flags come flying, ball came out. Looks like Alan Bradford fell on it, but we'll see what the penalty marker is. Little discussion, but all fingers pointing towards the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think going to be the fourth penalty here, unfortunately, for Seattle. Want to keep those
During
to a
the
minimum.
return, illegal block in the back. Number 27 of the return team, 10-yard penalty, first down. Timeout.
On Winston Guy, just after we talked about how well they played defensively. Gets a penalty on special teams. We'll back the Seahawks up a little bit, but the offense will take over inside the 15-yard line when we come back. Midway through the third quarter in this preseason finale, Seahawks on top 16-6 over the Oakland Raiders. And there you see one of the best left tackles in all of football, Russell Okung, who joins us right now. What's up, big man?
What's happening? How you guys doing?
All right. Hey, I know you didn't get a whole lot of playing time tonight, so give us your overall view of how the preseason campaign's gone for you.
The ball!
And do play-by-play, Kristen Michael with a run.
I see you.
Go ahead.
Wait, you ask that again?
I think you're a little bit excited about the way the preseason's gone for you guys.
I mean, the preseason's gone really good. We said we wanted to set out and really challenge ourselves to just kind of regain a postseason form. And as we're going through these first games, we're getting better and better, and we're really trying to clean things up for this last game as well.
Okay, tell me about the young pups. You were just encouraging one of them. What are you seeing out of these young guys behind you?
Bueno.
I think somebody's messing with you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scream like that. That was my manly scream.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Kristen Michaels looks good on the offense. Really tenacious back. Benson, Mayowa, he looks really good as well. So we have a lot of young guys, man, just really fighting to make this team, and they're really just they really identify with who we are as what we want to do as a team as well.
You know, you were screaming for Michael, cheering him on, teammates messing with you while you have your headset on. I mean, one of the things about this team is not only are you guys good, but it seems as though it's a unit. I mean, you're really together, like you guys have fun being around one another.
I can't say enough about the camaraderie of our team, and we're just a team that really believe in each other. And I think that's what it's going to take for us to really take the next step forward. And we're getting better every week.
How ready are you guys for the real football to begin the regular season next week?
Oh, man, so excited. We put in all this work. We're ready to make it count.
You know, one of the things that impresses me about you is we talked about how good you are at that left tackle slot. Pro Bowl last year, one of the best in the league. But you're also one of the hardest workers. I know you talk about the legacy of following Walter Jones here. Just discuss that a little bit for the people.
I can only say I'm really as good as a unit. I couldn't do anything without the group, without the offense, and really without the team. And that's what it's about. All the individual things will take care of itself, but I just want for us to be a great team, and everything else will follow.
Well, you're being shy, you're being quiet, but you work as hard as anybody out there pregame, at practice, every day, day in and day out. Great catch by Jermaine Kearse here. Before we let you go, we got to ask you ran with the Bulls this year in Pamplona, Spain. Got the travel bug going for you. What was that like?
Man, it's amazing, man. I tell you, it definitely beats a 300-pound guy staring down your neck. But it was a great experience, man. And is one I'll never forget.
We appreciate you taking the time. Good luck. Stay healthy this season.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Russell Okung, and while he was doing that, Jermaine Kearse, back-to-back big catches.
Let me just say, Russell's going to get busted for that scream. I'm just going to tell you right now, Breno and the rest of the guys are going to give him some havoc. But how about Jermaine Kearse? First, the go route. And we have seen this with the number 2s and 3s. They want to give these young receivers an opportunity on those plays down the field to make it happen. And Jermaine has done it all preseason long. 3 touchdowns, 2 of the receiving variety. And you just love the hands on that play as well, showing you the capability to go up and pluck that ball out of the air with the hands.
Giving the Seahawks a first down at the 27. There's the bearded one, Sean McGrath.
And there's just something about playing the quarterback position when you put up that go route and you get a guy to finish on the other end. It just is like a breath of fresh air that now I can go out and you see it. And not that there was issues early with Brady Quinn. He came out, as he's done all preseason, been pretty sharp, but that go route just sets the tempo for everybody else, lets you exhale a little bit. And right now, Seattle doing a lot of what the starters and Tavares did in the first half, and that's move the ball 20-20.
9 yards on the catch by McGrath. Previous 2 catches by Kearse, total 50 yards. Here's Michael. Christian Michael back to the line of scrimmage. See Pete Carroll imploring this offense to cash in. Ever since that first drive, we've seen the offense move the ball up and down the field, but had to settle for field goals.
And up 10 here, maybe at times a head coach will get to that coordinator and in his ear and tell him, hey, you got 2 plays to get this 1 yard.
Quinn flushed out and caught from behind. David Bass, but there's a flag down as well.
I think this is going to be a hold against Oakland in their secondary.
Holding, number 95 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Kalen Burnett called for the hold.
A good challenge. We've seen this Oakland group play really hard up front, and that's Alvin Bailey, and he's played a little bit of guard, played guard at Arkansas. He's playing some tackle here. He's probably right now a little bit more comfortable inside because that's what he did so much of with Arkansas, but they want him. Tom Cable loves to have guys that have a level of versatility, and these are good learning reps for you. Tremendous opportunities to grow, even through a bit of adversity.
You don't see many guys go from guard to tackle. Usually they go the other way, inside. Michael nowhere to run. Wow. And he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Ryan Robinson got through.
Yeah, the running lanes have not been there for Kristen as they were a week ago in Green Bay in the first preseason game as well. Oakland has very much, I've said this all game long, they're very much selling out to this run and committing the numbers around the line of scrimmage to make that run game difficult. And if that's the case, then what do you do off of that? Well, then comes so much of the efficiency in the play action pass tonight.
Main Kearse in motion. Out of the backfield, Spencer Ware had it bounce off his hands. Another penalty flag.
Illegal use of hands, hands to the face. Number 75 offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That's on Mike Person as well, his second penalty tonight. He's saying, it wasn't me.
You got the wrong guy.
He got called for it. So after the penalty, backs him up 10 more yards. Ball's now just across the 25, 26-yard line. Quinn over the middle again through the hands of Cooper Helfet.
It's been on 3 different occasions now. It was Helfet earlier on the little hot throw into the blitz. He saw off Spencer Ware, wouldn't have counted anyway, and this as well. Now, Brady's got good velocity, and at times on those shorter passes, you can tone it down a little bit, but that can't be spun much better. That's a play, and Cooper knows that, yeah, maybe on that back shoulder instead of the front shoulder, but these are the plays down here as the field starts to condense. You got to find a way to bring it in.
3rd and long. Spencer Ware fell down, so that ball had no chance. So after moving the ball so well to get down, it's kind of stalled since then.
Hauschka been busy tonight.
Yeah. $43 yards on this attempt. He's already made 3, including a pair over 50. Been perfect on the night so far. And he stays that way. A touchdown on the opening possession, 4 field goals from Stephen Hauschka, and the Seahawks have a 19-6 lead late here in the 3rd quarter. Seahawks football is brought to you by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. 1:10 left on the clock here. Seahawks comfortably in the lead.
A couple hours ago, you asked me in the open of the show, what does going undefeated in a preseason mean? What is a franchise best? Now you're looking at your 9th, you're a little over 16 minutes away from your 9th straight victory in the preseason. What does it mean? Does it mean it directly correlates to next week in Charlotte and Carolina? No, I think we've learned enough, kind of like spring training baseball, that those numbers don't always correlate to productivity during the regular season. But what it does mean is it establishes if this is the way we're going to play no matter where we are, who we're against, this is our level. This is where we set the bar, and you play up to that level each and every night. And if you do so, well, go on a run like the Seahawks have this preseason.
19-6, Seahawks on top late in this 3rd quarter. Don't forget to gear up for the season just by visiting the official Seahawks Pro Shop at CenturyLink Field or downtown at 4th and Pine for your authentic Seahawks merchandise. Or you can shop anytime online at Seahawks.com. After the touchback, Oakland takes it over at the 20. Matt McGloin still in the quarterback. Way deep in the pocket. That ball thrown and caught. Andre Holmes with the grab right in front of Chris Maragos.
We said it earlier, but I really believe this, Kurt. The preseason record, the undefeated record last year at home, and Pete Carroll and John Schneider will say it all the time as well, the impact and the effect that this fan base has. There is a reason they're in the Ring of Honor. We are going into the 4th quarter of a preseason game, and people just do not want to leave the party here at the Clink.
It is often loud. It is always entertaining as Jeremy Stewart gets a couple yards on the run.
And this is the bar. I mean, this is what you hope to establish. A nice tackle there by Deshaun Shedd. This is what every NFL franchise hopes to have, that home field advantage. And it is real here. You ask people to come and play, and I can't remember. We talked about it going into preseason game number 1. I can't remember ever the hype, the expectation, even in the Super Bowl year, like in 04 and 05 in the division championships. The expectations through the roof this season.
One more quarter of the preseason to go. The Seahawks trying to remain perfect on the scoreboard. Guys trying to remain on the roster. 19-6. We go to the 4th. Seahawks with a 13-point lead in this last game of the preseason. 12th man has been loud and proud tonight, and a man that the Seahawks were glad to see back in the lineup tonight joins us right now, tight end Zach Miller. And I know you had to beg your way in the lineup after missing most of preseason with that foot injury. Tell us, even though it was a brief outing, what you felt you got out of tonight.
I think the biggest thing was just kind of getting the feel of football again, and you know, getting out here with my teammates and being able to, you know, go through the first drive there and go down and score, and that felt good just to kind of get that first game feel out of the way.
How much conversation was there amongst the number ones that, hey, let's get this ball, let's march at 80, let's do our job, and then let's put the ball caps on?
Well, for the last preseason game, that's exactly what you want. You want to be really efficient, go down the field, score a touchdown, and be done for the night. And really, I think it worked out really well the way everything happened, and that's exactly what you want to do.
Tell me about Luke Wilson. We've seen him grow, and he's going to play a pretty significant role with this team. What have you seen in his development, Zach?
I think the biggest thing is just him learning. He's done a real good job of just being a really good rookie. You want your rookie to learn as fast as he can and do everything he can to do a good job of doing that. So he's everything we want in that aspect.
Kind of like that rookie, right? Benson Mayowa there with his now, 3.5 sacks in the preseason and a forced fumble. We talk about this 12th man, Zach, and I can say it from the booth. I want to know from the field perspective, what's it like to have this fan base?
Having this fan base is awesome. Every week we get to play with such such a crowd that's always shows up, always so loud, and it makes it really tough on the other team to play in our house.
This is a fun place to play. It's a fun team to be around, but you got a fun house to be in, we think. Lately, you got a couple of twin daughters right now. How's that changed you?
Yeah, definitely changes everything in your life. So much different now. Lots less free time, but it's fun, and I think we're doing a good job, my wife and I, of getting them on a schedule and stuff. So they're sleeping 12 hours at night, and that's helped us a lot.
Probably why you want to get back and practice and play, just to get out of the house so you can get some sleep, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was tough at first. The first few months with twins is tougher than any training camp I've ever been a part of.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. Hopefully you stay healthy this season, Zach.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's Zach Miller, the Seahawks tight end. And as you saw while we were talking to him, you mentioned it, Benson Mayowa, another good play for the rookie free agent out of Idaho. Forced the fumble, got the sack, and got the Seahawks the ball here in Oakland territory. Spencer Ware going to be dropped for a loss on that run. But once again, another turnover created by the Seahawk defense, whether it's the starters or the backups. We saw Walter Thurman with a great interception earlier, and now Mayowa comes in and forces the fumble. It's
a pretty simple recipe, and especially in your own home park. When you win the turnover battle, when you possess the ball, it is awfully hard to come into Seattle and win games. The defensive-minded head coach knows that. He understands it. Benson hasn't got as much run tonight as he had in the previous 3 games of this preseason, but making the most of the opportunity there in the 4th.
Quinn. Chris Harper fought his way to get free, but dropped it. And here's a young man drafted in the 4th round. Well, was at Kansas State, was known for his hands.
Well, he's done everything right but finished the play on a couple of these occasions. You saw the earlier one in the end zone. This is part of what they like, the big body, physical guy. He gets away with a little bit maybe of that contact, and then you just got to find a way at the end at this level and in this league. If your strength is that big body, you've got to find a way to make those plays, and he knows it.
Here's Steven Hauska. This one from 53. He's already made 4 field goals. And now he's got 5, including 3 over 50 yards. I think he's ready for the regular season to start. Seahawks extend the lead off the leg of Mr. Hauska. It's 22-6. Visit your Puget Sound Acura dealers to test drive the extremely new 2014 MDX.
Well, I think Hauska has shown his coaching staff that he's good from 50-plus this year, huh?
56, 51, and 53 tonight. In addition, he's got 2 more from 43 and 22, so 5 field goals overall, 3 from 50-plus.
And in the last round of cuts, Carson Wiggs, the backup kicker that was here throughout training camp. If you're wondering why he's getting all of this action tonight, well, that's part of the story here as we get closer and closer now, just days away from setting up this final roster. Hauska, a very good night, and I think, again, another touchback. Nope. Yep.
Greg Jenkins decides to take a knee. Hauska's done just about everything he's been asked for tonight, and we've seen guys stand up and make plays. We've seen guys stumble a little bit, and this is what you get in this final preseason game as a new quarterback comes in for Oakland. That's their 4th round pick, Tyler Wilson. But you know what? We talked about it. 75 tonight, 53 tomorrow, and you wonder is you see a guy like Chris Harper struggle a little bit with his hands tonight if he's not starting to feel the pressure like a lot of these guys are.
Well, I think that's exactly it. I mean, to pretend that you don't and they're not human and they don't think, that's just not realistic. But you got to do the best you can. Trent Dilfer says to quiet your mind, to really focus in on that. And Chris will be replaying. Unfortunately, this is a bottom line business, and he's going to be replaying those. He knows he can make those catches. This organization knows he can make those catches. Why they took him in the 4th round. As you see the big body, Charrington, the rookie there out of Mississippi State, once again plugging it up in the middle. But just being able here in these pressure moments to settle down, because these coaches need you to settle down. You're going to have bigger moments in the 4th preseason game where you do have to have that tunnel vision and that focus. And just a challenge tonight for Chris.
No gain on that first play. Flags come out.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Tony Hill's call for the penalty. And there's a look at the wide receivers. You know, Percy Harvin on the physically unable to perform list, meaning he'll miss at least the first 6 weeks, but a lot of depth and a lot of guys fighting for that 4th, 5th, maybe 6th spot.
Yeah, and the other conversation is it's never just in a vacuum as you get into this roster. And I think it's why Pete and John, and they were pretty honest with us yesterday, all the tough decisions they have, some of the movement on the defensive line and the injuries there, and when Michael Robinson at fullback with some of the sickness that he's battling, a lot of moving pieces within this roster and trying to settle it down.
Deontay Williams with the catch, and Alan Bradford in there on the tackle. A guy who was showing up, what Pete Carroll called him, a running, hitting son of a gun.
That's what he does best. Yeah, he likes contact. We've seen this on a few occasions tonight in that slow-mo, that head snap, and that's textbook. That's right through the body, right through the sternum of that running back.
Flags came out. Free play for Oakland. Ball came out as well. But it looked like Benson Mayowa took off early there on the right side of the defensive line.
I think you're right.
Offside, number 95 defense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's who it's on.
You want a picture of the depth right now when everybody talks about the depth of the Seahawk roster and how good your groups are, 1, 2, and 3. Look at your linebacking crew out there right now. And I realize it's a little tilted because of Bruce Irvin's on the field because they want to continue to get him work. But just from an athleticism standpoint, your secondary, your linebackers, heck, even Benson Mayowa with 3.5 sacks this preseason. I think this group here in this front 7 speaking to the level of depth on this roster.
Absolutely. Wilson fires it, caught by Jerron Kreiner, and he fights his way out to the 1st down. Good second effort before Bruce Irvin made the tackle.
And you're going to feel it. I mean, there's going to be no gimmies here in the final 11 minutes of this 4th quarter of the 4th preseason game. I mean, typically you look around the league and you could watch these 4th quarters and know, yeah, it's going to be hard for some of these guys to make it. Just looks like a different speed. The hitting, the contact looks different. I think you're noticing here, as we've noticed all preseason long, there is not a significant drop-off.
More penalty markers.
Neutral zone infraction, number 95 defense. His movement into the neutral zone caused a reaction by the offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
And that's on Mayowa again. 2nd time this drive, and he's a guy that Pete Carroll talked about. You want to see consistency out of guys, and he consistently brings that effort, but you don't want to see 2 penalties extend the drive.
The word that Pete used on Monday following that Green Bay game on the road in that setting and scene is he just felt like his guys were, quote, crazed. And it's that line that you walk between bringing all that energy yet still having the focus to play down in and down out.
Deontay Williams going to be just short of that 1st down marker. Alan Bradford with the stop. Bradford's been a busy guy here on this drive. Seven tackles this evening. Williams right into the arms of Michael Brooks. Stops him for a loss. Brooks was there waiting for him.
And I don't know if there is a more fluid group and position group right now as you're trying to settle in on this roster, largely because of just some of the bumps and bruises and April's hamstring, and where is Chris Clemens? And they've got to make a designation with him on Saturday, whether or not he's going to be on that PUP. But plenty of talent. You sure hope to get an April and a Hill back here very early this season.
Short gains, second effort, first down. Jameis Olawale out of North Texas moves the chains for the Raiders.
That's well done. You're in regular season form.
A lot of practicing in the hotel room.
You ready for you guys to come to town next week?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We'll actually be in New York week 1 getting ready for next year's Super Bowl. Takes us that much practice. Wilson off the play fake, feeling the pressure, had to throw that one incomplete. But again, Michael Brooks showing up big, bringing the heat.
And this kid's got some wiggle. He'll be an intriguing guy to see, as such a young guy, whether or not he can find a home on a practice squad. And that's Alex Barron. That's a guy that's got some years in this league. Had a rough one last week. Did Alex Barron, and Michael Brooks getting his hands right through the chest of Barron, causing the penetration, the early throw. And Lane saying, man, just one more half step, give me some. This defense so hungry, position by position.
And so deep. Pressure coming again. Wilson throws it high, and it's caught. Nick Casa, a rookie out of Colorado, goes up, I should say, and makes the catch. And that was a play that Wilson was lucky just to get the ball off.
Well, that was a tremendous play out of the 4th-round rookie out of Arkansas. You can feel that defensive end, and that's Big Jay Howard barreling down on you. And there is one spot to throw this football. This is a little bit dangerous into 3 Seahawk defenders, but he puts it in the only spot that Tyler Wilson could.
20-yard gain. Wilson under pressure again. It's like they're just taking turns coming at him. This time it's Mike Morgan.
Yeah, this is not a lot of fun when you are just doing your somersaults after every one of your throws, because Dan Quinn's group just does not back down.
Wilson under center. Deontay Williams. Winston Guy wraps him up. Short pickup. Penalty marker as well.
Illegal shift. 2 players in motion did not come set before the snap. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, at least for Oakland, this is starting to look like that 4th preseason game. Guys coming free off that defensive front for Seattle, and now a penalty.
It's going to be a challenging year for Dennis Allen and Reggie McKenzie, and I don't know in this league if people have the patience to understand what you said earlier, what they had to dig out of. The Seahawk team and teams around the league that can turn it around, and typically can't turn it around when you have a salary cap abyss as the Raiders are trying to dig out. And really, I think after this season, there is some light at the other end of the tunnel, but this is going to be a difficult year in Oaktown.
Wilson out of the pocket, gets it out. Holmes, Andre Holmes makes the grab. 9 yards on the pickup.
I think that was a shot of Matt Flynn over there in street clothes as well. And Matt Flynn brought in some ways and restructured contract to be the starter. Tyler Wilson, a 4th-round pick, trying to find some real value at the position there as well. And there's a shot of Matt. And unfortunately, some of the elbow tendonitis that bothered him a preseason ago in Seattle has flared up yet again. And that offensive line may be flaring up, unfortunately, more than anything else, as to why Terrell Pryor will be the starter week 1.
Quick pass out. Gerard Kreiner wrestled to the ground by Alan Bradford. It was a good tackle by Bradford because he was out there in the open field pretty much alone and needed to stop Kreiner before he could get the first down.
There's just certain guys that it just looks different to your eye, right? Whether you're in the stands or you're up here in the booth. I mean, there's just a level of violence that frankly he really likes, which is a good place to be and a good mindset when you're a middle linebacker in this league. Ray Lewis, that's why he wears the 52. Ray Lewis, the guy that now he watches, a converted tailback. And there's no other linebacker on this team that hits nearly as hard as Bradford.
Wilson, incomplete. Tried to hook up with Jacoby Ford on 4th down. Won't do it, and the Raiders will turn it over on downs. So high fives in the stands. Seahawks offense will take over. Trying to run as much clock as they can here. 7 minutes left to go here in the preseason. Seahawks football is presented by Washington's Lottery and Department of Imagination. Imagine the possibilities. We'll welcome in the guy that few people will argue is the best free safety in all of football. Brings a smile to your face. Earl Thomas. And Earl, we talked so much earlier, actually, we talked with Russell Okung just about not 4-0 meaning anything, but just the standard that has now been set here as you wrap up the preseason with another perfect campaign.
Yeah, I think we've done a great job of just buying in from day one. We learned from our mistakes, and we've been making them our strengths, and that's all you really can ask for.
What is this time like, Earl? Obviously, your role is established and set as one of the real leaders of this team, but such a competitive roster, such a competitive group in the secondary, and you know guys aren't going to be there on Sunday or Monday as you get ready for Carolina. Just from a leadership position, what is this weekend like as the roster pairs down?
It's kind of difficult because when you meet good guys, you got to kind of get close to them, especially in the DB room. It's a big family in there. And all you can do is really root for them and, encourage them. And if they ask you some questions, try to school them up in any way you can.
The one difference you have between now and when you first joined the Seahawks is they're going to be guys that are let go this weekend that are going to get jobs elsewhere because the talent's so deep.
Definitely. Everybody has talent here. I think that's why we separate ourselves from other teams around the league because we push ourselves in practice. And it's easier in the game than it is in practice, actually.
How much does Alan Bradford like to hit people?
Man, he looked like Ray Lewis out there to me, He's always around the ball hawk, and he's stepping up big for us. That just shows the depth we have here in Seattle.
Not only the depth, but really you guys get along so well. Not only on the defensive side, offense, this is really, maybe it's because you're so young, but a team full of camaraderie.
Yeah, it feels like a college atmosphere. Everything's a real comfortable environment. Even when we're in practice, everybody's kind of joking around, but at the same time, it's high tempo and very competitive. And we appreciate what the offense brings every practice, and we also try to do the same thing over there on the defensive side of the ball.
In 6 minutes, the hay will be in the barn for the preseason. You'll get a couple days off. The roster will get set. You'll get ready for Carolina. What's the mindset? What do you guys got to do defensively, Earl, to go on the road week 1, 10 a.m. game, East Coast, all that good stuff? What do you got to do to take care of business?
Just keep doing what we've been doing, not worrying about what the media or anybody else says. Just kind of focus on our little bubble in Seattle, and everything else will take care of itself.
We appreciate you taking the time joining us. Stay healthy this year.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, that's Earl Thomas. And he says he doesn't care what the media says. He probably should, because a lot of media is picking the Seahawks to not only go to the playoffs, but go to the Super Bowl.
One of the other things that you love about this roster is not all of them were finished products when they came in. Earl was 21 years of age as a redshirt sophomore coming out of Texas, was such a young guy, and you see the growth year after year. Richard Sherman comes in, and he does nothing but stack good season upon good season. And Pete Carroll knows that. You can never be satisfied. That's why he likes to push and likes to compete and have guys on this roster that make you better and continue to develop year after year.
Cooper Helfet going airborne after the catch. And just to clarify, I wasn't saying he should have to care what the media says, but I was pointing out that a lot of people believe in the Seahawk team, and we talked about it earlier. You go back to the Super Bowl year, it wasn't as anticipated as this campaign is by the Seahawks.
No, and this preseason won't quiet any of that either. This preseason and another dominant, just the score differential and the turnovers and the takeaways and so much of what this roster did this preseason will continue to build it up, but all that disappears. All that will go away about 10 days from now with an early morning kickoff where the country in this region in particular will be watching to see the team hopefully go on the road, do what they did in the second half of last season, because I don't care who you are, Kurt, when you come into this place and you're going to face the 12th man with this amount of noise, the way this thing is built, if they can go on the road and even go 500 or go 5-3 with what they're capable of doing at home, that's how you put yourself in position to have first-round buys and home playoff games.
Been no question how dominant the Seahawks have been here at CenturyLink, going unbeaten last year. And as you said, if they can get to 500 on the road, just to making an assumption you do the same thing. I mean, that's 12 wins. That shows you how big it is when you win home games. It gives you so much more leeway. Quinn. Ball incomplete.
You take a look at the road. Last year, many of the quality opponents were at home. That's Green Bay and New England. You look at this year, you got San Francisco week number 2, at Carolina, Cam Newton, everything that they're going to throw at you. And then look at the rest of those road games. At Houston, playoff team. At Indianapolis, playoff team. Down there at St. Louis, who beat you in their place a year ago.
Second half, not much easier road games. At Atlanta, at San Francisco, and at the Giants.
But you do get 5 at home, and you do hopefully get to see a Percy Harvin during that stretch. And a Chris Clemens that continues to come back from his ACL. You expect to be stronger in the second half as well. Those road games against playoff teams in the first half of this season, to me, will determine whether or not this team gets that first round bye, that first round playoff game, some home playoff games, which if they can do that, going to be awfully tough to come into this venue and win.
Absolutely. The cuts have to be made by Saturday, 3 o'clock Pacific time, and the Seahawks will make the cuts to get down to the 53-man roster, but it doesn't mean the roster is complete at that point. Remember, you have to set up your 8-man practice squad after you cut those guys and they clear waivers. Then you can try to get them on the practice squad as Spencer Ware makes that grab. But the team, always churning the roster, always on the lookout to see who's available from elsewhere via trade or somebody who's been cut by another team. So they'll get down to 53 officially on Saturday, but that won't be it. But they got to feel good about where they are right now. Is back. Stay up to date with the Seahawks on Facebook. Check out behind-the-scenes photos and videos on Instagram. And follow Seahawks Twitter for instant updates and more. And we are 3 minutes from putting the preseason behind us. Seattle in control from the get-go. Tyler Wilson throws that one out. Pass caught. Greg Jenkins with the grab. And Seahawks took the opening drive, marched down the field 80 yards, led by Russell Wilson. Ended up in a Robert Turbin 3-yard touchdown. It's been all field goals since then, but no doubt tonight, Seahawks 22-6 right now on their way to 4-0 this preseason, back-to-back perfect preseason campaigns and a franchise record 9th consecutive preseason victory. Jenkins again. Touchdown by Ron Parker. First down, Oakland.
You said it earlier to Earl, and you're absolutely right, Kurt. It'll be, I think, fairly remarkable. And one of the bigger challenges for Pete and John here in paring this roster down is how many of these guys will be picked up and playing roles on other teams week 1 during the regular season.
Chris Maragos gets the sack, but he just beat Bruce Irvin to the punch. Basically, both those guys were coming around the end, and Tyler Wilson had no chance. Maragos, a guy who's made his name on special teams the last couple of years, but has played well defensively this preseason on top of it. Takes us to the 2-minute warning. 22-6.
Seahawks football is brought to you by CenturyLink. Internet, phone, TV, and more. Visit CenturyLink.com for details. Pemco Insurance. We're a lot like you, a little different. Washington's Lottery and the Department of Imagination. Imagine the possibilities. And Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. Back here at CenturyLink Field, the Seahawks on top of the Oakland Raiders 22-6 on the verge of their second consecutive undefeated preseason. Aaron Levine with Max Strong and Mac. The defense pitching a shutout in the second half, and you love the guys just flying the ball.
Yeah, they're just making the guys doing a great job in the second half, especially defensively, making a name for themselves and trying to do everything they can to make this team. We've seen Benson Mayowa get another sack. We've seen Alan Bradford play really well. Winston Guy's been flying around. A lot of guys. They've just playing extremely well and making it very hard for these coaches to make a decision.
Much more analysis and interviews coming up in the postgame show. Let's send it back up to Kurt and Brock, guys.
All right, thanks a lot. Ball tipped, and it falls incomplete. There's Alan Bradford there, step for step with the running back, Jeremy Stewart. And Brock, you don't want to get too wrapped up in preseason statistics, but it's about the way these games finish, the way things have happened. And this Seahawk defense has forced 10 turnovers this season, getting 2 more tonight. They've only turned the ball over offensively twice. Great sign. Defensively, they've only given up 36 total points in 4 games, 9 per game. Consistency. Those are the things you pay attention to as much, if not more, than the 4-0 record.
That is executing everything that you teach and you preach. And you said it perfectly earlier. Here's the standard. This is the way you play Seahawk football. This is how you do it. This is where the bar is set. And now go out and do it day after day. Do it consistently no matter who you are, no matter what position you are on the depth chart. This is the level. Go play up to it.
Raiders call a timeout with 1:45 left as Chris Maragos gets involved again on defense. So there's still time left in the preseason. Don't go anywhere. So a minute 45 remaining on the clock before we get to the end of the preseason and the end of the run for some of these guys. And you know what? It's not just about the guys who are draft picks trying to make it. A lot of undrafted guys in Seahawk history have made quite the impression, including Mr. Strong.
Is there a better football name?
No, not for a fullback especially. What a hit. That ball falls. I think Ron Parker with the hit. They gave him the catch. They gave him a catch, but it's not nearly enough for the first down. Here's another look.
And who's going to be that undrafted free agent this year? Is there going to be room? I mean, is there going to be space for an undrafted free agent? We've certainly seen Lotulelei all over the field all preseason long. Is there a spot for him in the special teams game? Benson Mayowa, once again, very active tonight, getting that sack. A guy that seemingly has come out of nowhere in a regional combine to find an opportunity to maximize it and make the most of it this year. This is where the real dilemma and challenge is. Caught up with John Schneider this week. A lot of conversations between he and the head coach right now, the personnel department, the coaching staff. How do you best plan for the short term and get yourself ready for Carolina, yet also never losing sight of the long term and that vision for what's to come in the second half of this season when those games are so most important? And where does Chris Clemens and where does Cliff Averill and when eventually will Percy Harvin and just all the components? And I think without a doubt one of the 3 best rosters in the NFL. How does it all take shape as you push into the regular season play?
And it's all about the long term here. This season matters because of great expectations, but because of the youth and the experienced youth. And we didn't expect to be a long run.
Yeah, and we didn't even see Sidney Rice this preseason. You saw Marshawn Lynch get 3 or 4 carries all preseason long. Zach Miller finally gets some reps and gets the 1 series of just a handful of snaps as well. I mean, your significant contributors, your difference makers. You're not going to see him for a quarter or 2 quarters. You're going to see him for 4 quarters in Charlotte in 10 days.
And one of the best things that come out of the preseason, obviously the 4-0 record is nice. You lose Percy Harvin due to the hip injury, which happened during workouts, not in the game. And there's some nicks and bruises along that defensive front, but overall, this was a healthy preseason campaign
in a healthy preseason. Once again at 4-0, the bar has been set. Now the roster has got to get set, and the real work begins. Going to be a very long season with lots of twists and turns. You know that in an NFL season, Kurt, as well as anybody, that journey into November and December. But this team is definitely equipped to make that run.
You feel like they're ready for a good start. The preseason is over, 22-6. The Seahawks take care of the Raiders, finish 4-0. 9th straight preseason win, and you can see that average margin of victory. Very comfortable. 10 days from now, the regular season opens. Carolina Panthers on the road, the opponent.
This was a lot of fun, Kurt. It was fun to get the opportunity this season to get in the booth, in the broadcast booth, and thanks to the truck and Brian and the rest of the crew and Pat for making the job easy. And now I just can't wait, like so many of the, I think, Seahawk fans in this area, can't wait to see it matter for real. With the way they ended last season in those final 30 seconds in Atlanta and being so close and really getting the taste of it last year. And as we said earlier, nothing in this preseason has stemmed or quieted any of those expectations at all.
Nor should it have, at least the way this team has performed. I mean, they have come out and they've been dominant at times, facing some very good competition here in the preseason as well.
That's a good point. You had Peyton Manning, you had Aaron Rodgers. You see the difference today with a little bit of inexperience with Terrell Pryor. You're going to come out the gate and you're going to get Cam Newton. He's a Pro Bowl talent player. if that team can fire, if they can take some of the burden off of him. Colin Kaepernick took his 49ers to the Super Bowl last year. You're going to face some really good quarterbacks early. Going to go see Matt Schaub. Going to go see Andrew Luck. You got to be on it early this season. Richard Sherman knows it.
This division overall, tough. I mean, a couple of years ago, the Seahawks won it at 7-9, and right now, I think a lot of people look at it maybe from 1 to 4, as strong a division as there is in all of football. Week in and week out, it will be tough.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's much of an argument. I mean, who would you even argue as number 2 in this division? I mean, if you can get to 11 wins, if you can get to 12 wins in this division, well, you've really done something this year.
So the Seahawks will wrap it up. We go down to the field where we are joined by a guy who, as soon as he gets his headset on.
He even likes to hit the headset. Look at him.
Alan Bradford joins us now. You got it in place now?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we're saying you even like to hit the headset. You just go start to finish. You know, you had a chance to show what you could do full-time at linebacker this preseason. You showed up week in and week out, led the team in tackles again tonight. I assume that you've got to feel good about where you are right now.
I feel good with tonight's performance, but you know, you never know. I'm just striving and just trying to just keep building week after week and just keep getting better.
You wear that 52, I think you told us, for Ray Lewis. In fact, Earl Thomas passed quite a compliment along from the free safety position. He said, that's who he looks like, man. He doesn't just tackle people, he punishes people. Tell me about your mindset out there, Alan.
I'm just trying to get to the ball and just run fast and let them feel me once I get there. And I'm just striving for perfection and just trying to be great. And you know, it's hard day in, day out. And coming from a guy like Earl, much respect, because you know, a safety like that, man, he's like a quarterback back there.
So what now, Alan? The hay is in the barn, man. The preseason is come and gone. 0-0's on the clock. What do the next 48 to 72 hours mean to you and feel like?
You know, I'm just gonna wait around. Hopefully, you know, I'm waiting for a call, not a bad call, or you know, if they release me, then I'm hoping somebody else pick me up. But I would love to stay here. You know, you can feel it in the air each game, and I don't think it's a better spot to be. And I'm gonna let the chips fall where they may. Turning 25 on Saturday, so I'm gonna just enjoy my birthday.
Well, happy early birthday here.
Thank you.
You know, one of the things that Pete Carroll said about you is that you're probably the most instinctual linebacker that the Seahawks have on the team. And everybody keeps going, well, he's trying to convert from running back to linebacker. But, I mean, you came out of high school. Pete was the one that turned you around at USC and made you a running back. And you told us you probably never should have been a running back. You got a linebacker mentality all along.
I mean, what happened in the past is what happened. I can't. It got me where I'm at today, and it helps me. I think playing running back, it just helped me just feeling what they doing and kind of reading their footsteps and their footwork, so I can just get to the ball faster. And the thing is, I'm still learning, and there's so much room for improvement.
Well, you've shown very well every opportunity you've had this preseason. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you guys.
All right, then. Alan Bradford, hopefully he won't be too nervous here.
Don't hit the cameraman either on the way out.
Alan Bradford wrapping up a very good preseason campaign. The Seahawks do the same. They finished 4-0, taking care of the Raiders tonight. The Sports Authority postgame show comes your way right after this.